Mr. Hood, would you please give us your full name and DOC number?
Michael Hood, 403793.
Mr. Hood, this is a revocation hearing. I want to explain our procedure to you. First, I'm going to cover your parole revocation questionnaire. Then I'm going to read the allegations against you that allege that you have violated your parole. And then I'll ask you to plead either guilty, not guilty, guilty with a statement, or not guilty with a statement. And then we'll conduct a hearing with you, at which time we'll ask you some questions. You'll have an opportunity to address the board. And it's my understanding that you do have some supporters here at headquarters that would like to speak on your behalf. Miss Anna Colon, who is a friend, is here and wishes to speak. Miss Gail Nolan, who is an employer, who is present and wishes to speak. And Katie Scott, who is a friend who is present but does not wish to speak. Once we've had that interview with you, you'll have an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to say to the board, and then we'll vote. You understand our process, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you have your parole revocation questionnaire in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Is that your signature at the bottom on September the 21st of 2023?
Yes, sir.
Is that information, was that information all accurate at that date?
Yes, sir.
Continues to be accurate today?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to go forth with your procedure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read the allegations against you and ask you how you plead. The first violation is 13, special condition, curfew between 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. unless prior approval received from officer from work, church, or other activity. You were in violation of this condition in that you were later coming home for curfew on September the 12th of 2023. GPS monitoring has you returning home at 9:41 p.m. Subject texted Agent Tappan at 8:42 p.m. that he would be 30 minutes late for curfew because he had to run to town for his cousin. I advised him that this was a violation of curfew the next day. This is technically the third violation of the curfew. The first was on October the 27th of 2022. It was addressed by verbal reprimand due to being new to the Amite district, and once again explained the curfew and how it would be enforced. The second was on January 26th of 2023. You went to the state of Mississippi without a travel permit. Subject notified me by text at 3:15 p.m. that after work, he was going to Mississippi due to his mother having a heart attack. He did not leave work early to travel to Mississippi and acknowledged he completed his workday before traveling to Mississippi. He did not report to Amite district to get a travel permit for this violation. Agent Tappan placed subject on GPS monitoring. How do you plead to the allegations of violations of your curfew?
Guilty with a statement, sir.
Okay. Your case has been assigned to Ms. Wise. Would you please answer any questions she might have?
Good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Doing good. All right. How long have you been out of jail?
Since April 28th, 2022.
Okay. Give me the reason for your violation today. Well, what's your understanding of?
Ma'am, on the date in question, around 7 o'clock, my cousin called, said she had to get her vehicle to the mechanic shop to get repaired. I asked her, I told her, I said, well, it's kind of late. You know, do you really need to get it there? She said, yeah, I really need to get it there. Miss Gail, which is my boss and is like her foster mother, she was adopted into the family unofficially. She's paying for the car to get fixed. It's like, man, I don't want Miss Gail to fuss at me. I need to get the truck. I said, well, let's do it after 7. I think I can make it. So I went and I didn't realize I've been kind of out since August the 3rd, but I had an eye injury and I had going through surgeries and stuff. So my calculation of time really wasn't good. So I went and got her vehicle there. And when I got to the shop, I realized it was 8:42, around that time. So I texted Officer Tapp and I said, hey, look, I'm gonna be about 30 minutes late getting home. I had run to town and I'm gonna be late. So I did what I had to do at that point in time. I took my cousin home, I went home, and the next day, she texted me and said I was in violation.
But you already knew you were in violation because you took.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
So let's go back in that situation. What would you do differently knowing what you know now?
I tell her it's too late. She just has to wait till tomorrow. Yes, ma'am.
I'm glad you said it at top of mind. I'm glad you said that.
Yes, ma'am, because I live out of town. I live in the country and she lives in town. And I really wasn't getting my time right. Like I said, I've been kind of laid up with my eye situations. It was, but it was really my fault anyway.
And what about the other two incidents? This was the third incident that you had violated the curfew. So what was differently?
Okay, I'll go back to the very first incident. When I had got out of prison and was going through the parole project, we had the weekends free of curfew. We were straight on the weekend. So when I moved to Mississippi, I didn't even have a curfew. I do my go in once a month. I get my travel permit and come back to Louisiana. At that point in time, I was staying with my cousin, and then I got my own house. And when I got my own house, when I went back up to Mississippi, I got my parole transferred back to Louisiana. And I've been 6 months out, and I wasn't even used to having a parole. I was at my cousin's house. I wasn't out doing anything wrong. I was at my cousin's house. And she called and she notified me that I was in violation of parole, so I had to go in the next day. And we went through all that kind of.
So now you understand that you're under a curfew. You understand that now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You're willing to follow the curfew?
Yes, ma'am. I've done it. Those occasions were the only occasions that I messed up.
Okay, it's good to hear. That's good to hear. But that's all I have, Chairman.
I have a question. When you were released to Mississippi, was that a condition of your release that you go to Mississippi?
No, sir. It was just that was where I was going to go when I got through with the parole project.
Okay.
It was a special condition on the certificate.
Mr. Hood, I've got a question or two.
Yes, sir.
I reviewed the notes of your parole officer.
Yes, sir.
It appears to me that you have been very disrespectful to her in some of your comments. Now, before you shake your head,
Sir. Yes, sir.
let me finish my question.
Yes, sir.
I was a judge for 16 years. I ran a drug court. And the first thing I looked at people when they walked in was their attitude.
Yes, sir.
And if their attitude was such that they didn't care and didn't want any part of what we were doing, I treated them a little differently.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to ask you right now, how was your attitude towards this parole officer and how would you change it?
Well, sir, I was never disrespectful to her. I don't know where she gets that from. I really wasn't. We just didn't, I guess we just didn't see eye to eye or whatever, but I promise you that that's going to change. If I'm still, y'all let me go, it's going to change.
But what's going to change? If you say you weren't disrespectful to him,
I'll figure it out.
well, let me stop you. As you look back, what did you do to give her that impression?
Well, I know the first time that I was in violation was kind of heated. It was heated between us. But after that,
What was heated between you? She told you you had a violation and you got upset?
yeah, it's just a way. No, sir. It was when she called. She just was, you're in violation, and just was on the offense, and it made me defensive when she was like that. It just, hit me wrong. But after the next day when I went in, we talked, and it was a sincere talk. And at that point in time, I felt like we was all right, but one day she had called me around 6:30 or so, asked me where I was at. And I told her I was at Miss Anna Mae's house, my boss's mother. And she said, well, I know it's not you still all right. You might be home right now. I just want to know if you was on your way home, I'd see you. I'm by your house. I said, well, I can be on the way home if you want to wait. She said, no, that's okay. I'll just catch you another day. I said, all right. So I got home around 8:45, and maybe 8:50 or so. I went and got in the shower at a little bit after 9. I had eaten. I got in the shower. Next thing you know, my phone rings while I'm in the shower, and I saw it was Miss Tappan. So I answered the phone, and she was, where are you at? I said, well, I'm at home. She said, no, you're not. You're not home. Your truck's not here. I said, my truck, my friend took my truck to the store. He'll be back in shortly. She said, well, you can't be at home. You ain't answering the door. I said, Miss Tappan, I ain't hear you. I said, I'm in the shower. She said, well, you need to get some clothes on and come see me right now. I said, well, let me wash off. I got soap on me. No, you need to come right now. I said, well, I'm gonna wash off. I had soap all over me. So I did what I did, and she had a real sour attitude. I didn't do it. I felt I didn't do anything wrong. So, and that's been what's been given to me a lot. And my reactions has been a lot of, ways she's been talking to me. I'm sorry if that's wrong, but
Mr. Hood, let me just explain something to you. She is your supervisor.
Yes, sir.
And you're on supervision.
Yes, sir.
And whatever attitude there is between the two of you, it needs to change.
Yes, sir.
Primarily yours.
Yes, sir.
You're the one on parole. You're the
Yes,
one on supervision.
Yes, sir.
He's got a job to do. There are probably a lot of people like you that she's dealing with.
Yes, sir.
So you just have to understand that.
Yes, sir.
And the last thing you need to do is get in Dutch and get in trouble because of your attitude.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You've got some great comments by the warden. I'm sure he's going to work with you, and y'all going to work on that. But that's a real issue.
Yes, sir.
So as long as you're on supervision, you got a cloud over your head.
Yes, sir.
You're not the free man that you might be when you finish your term.
Yes,
But
sir.
right now, you're under supervision, and there's certain rules you got to follow, and you got to like them.
Yes, sir.
You have to adhere to them. You don't necessarily have to like it, but you have to adhere to them, and you have to be decent with the person who supervises.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yes,
just
sir.
remember, she's got a lot of people like you that she's supervising, and perhaps she might be in a bad mood when she calls you because she's making sure you're doing the things that you're supposed to do.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now we'll hear from Ms. Cologne.
Cologne, and I do know Mike, and I like him very much. He's very, very respected. When I met him the first time, I liked him, and he never gave me any reason. And I've been around a lot of bad people in my days, not to like him. And when I find out that he was in jail, it hurt me. Because I know he was doing his best. And sometimes I would fix his food. And he said, I gotta hurry because I gotta milk it. Because I'm gonna be late. I said, well, I'm kind of handicapped. Give me a chance to fix your food. I have to keep me to get home. Like you, how much we love you. You would do anything on God's order. And I'm like, and you like, And I'm vouching for you because I know you got a good heart. Because I've been a lady that know good people. I'm 77 years old. And I know you are a good person. I don't know what that lady had to say about you. But I know you did whatever you needed to do to be for one time. Sometimes the traffic is bad and you can't get home. And I can tell you, in my heart, my faith, hope they have money for you today. You are a good person. I'm about till I die. And you need, oh, you can't even hurt one eye. You couldn't see, you still was trying to work. I have never seen nobody in a hard time that had given all his life and come out really good heart that you did. Most people are angry, they are hurt, they are mad. I didn't see that in you. I saw love. Love for your mother. Love for people you didn't know. And a lot of love. When you don't know anybody, you still can love. I know that because I get food. And I give you an A because God knows. You treat me with respect. From the day I met you until today. And I hope they thank.
Thank you, Ms. Cologne. We sure appreciate your comments. Now we'll hear from Ms. Nolan.
Thank y'all for letting me speak on Mike's behalf. I spoke to, my name is Gail Nolan, and we own a concrete company in Parole, Louisiana, Revoke, and a sand and gravel operation in St. Helena Parish with a Ditto Springs address. And Mike has been working for us for almost a year and has been a very respectable employee. I mean, I have put him through so many tests and trials, and he's been a very good employee. He shows up for work, he'll do anything I ask him to do. If I ask him to pick up trash out the ditch, he's a welder by trade, but he can do anything. He's a mechanic. And so on my behalf, speaking about him and from an employer standpoint, he has been a great asset to our to me and my husband. And I wanted to speak on behalf of that. I have had the opportunity to speak with Mike about his probation officer as well. And I've spoken to Ms. Denise, and you know, I give her full respect for her job. And I told Mike as well, Ms. Denise has a job to do. And I said, she doesn't know you from Adam or Eve. I said, so you have to ensure her that she can trust you. And when you build that relationship with her, I think that relationship can move forward for both of them. But like I told him, at this point in time, she is over you and you have to abide by those rules. And so he understands. I didn't know a couple of the times that he may have violated his probation, had the curfew violation, but I knew he had violated before, and I knew he was trying to help his cousin, who actually has 4 younger kids and 1 older kid, and has always tried to help her. And I've also instructed him he did not have put Mike in the position to be jeopardizing his, possibly being put back to prison. I said, for any reason. And I told Mike the same thing. You should not have done that. Because if they told my curfew is at 9, I'm going to be on at 7. So we shouldn't even be trying to make it at all. And I told him, so I'm going to watch you with a fine-tooth comb. I said, because this is not acceptable. And I told her he's not doing nothing for you that's going to even put him in jeopardy of violating his probation. But I feel bad for him that she should even put him in that position to try to help her, she know that could potentially put him in violation. Men sometimes need a woman to help keep them straight. And I told her, so it's our obligation to meet the women in his life to help keep him where he needs to be. And I just wanted to say, I appreciate Ms. Denise. I call her when Mike needs to be late or he's gonna work over, and I do respect her position. She has a job to do, and I told him she's going to do her job and I'm going to help her do it. And my job is to keep you straight. So I just wanted to say that, and I appreciate the board hearing us today. And I do pray that he gets out. And it's our job. You will see me before the board if he don't act right.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Newell.
I
I appreciate your comments. He's lucky to have you in his life. Okay, Mr. Hood, is there anything you'd like to say to the board before the board votes?
Yes, sir. I'm real sorry for putting y'all through all this. I'm still learning. I'm learning. And a lot of times I run into a roadblock or bump in the road or whatever, and I learn from and this is a learning situation for me. And I appreciate y'all let me learn from it.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your comments. Is the panel ready to vote?
Yes, I'm ready. August the 19th of 2151. That's when your parole is scheduled to end.
Yes, ma'am.
That translates into a lifetime, doesn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
You really got to get with it.
Yes, ma'am.
I expected you to have an attitude with me this morning. I want to commend you on that. I don't know because of you had company, but you did not present the attitude that was presented in the record. And I was glad to see that. And you have everything in place to not be here. This is weird. This is weird. You got a mentor. Research shows anybody with a mentor, that just increases. That's why he's so powerful in his mentor role, because it increases the likelihood of you not being in jail, but you're in jail. You have an understanding employer. That's another big plus, but you're still in jail.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
Yes, I don't know if you just don't want the help or what, but do you want to get back out and try again?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Most definitely. My mama's depending
I
on me.
don't want to give you anything you don't want.
Yes, ma'am.
And the same thing with your mother. If you can't go see her, you can't go see her. You're gonna have to get somebody to take their phone and do one of them videos where you can see her. You have to work around the conditions that you live in. We all do that. That's just being an adult.
Well, since that incident, I got her moved down here with me. She lives with me now. And
Great.
I
I'm
take
glad to
care
hear
of.
that. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. I'm gonna take a chance on you. I'm gonna stop fussing at you and I'm gonna take a chance. So my vote is to revoke and continue your own supervision. Here's the caveat for me. I want you to report weekly to your probation officer for the first 3 weeks that you get out. That means if your officer is not in, leave a report, leave some kind of indication that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to understand that she is really on your side.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
That's what she did, but I'm only one vote.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Ms. Freeman?
I think Ms. Wise put it perfectly, and there's no use for me to fuss at you anymore. She is your probation officer. I know Ms. Tappan, she's a good probation officer. She may come across like that, but she's just doing her job.
Yes,
She's
ma'am.
just making you abide by the conditions we put on it. So I will go along with Ms. Wise. I'm gonna vote do not revoke. See her once a week for 3 weeks. Stay on electronic monitoring for 2 more months with absolutely no violation. Like your employer said, if you gotta leave at 7 to get on, leave at 7, even if it don't take you but an hour, just so you can try, to avoid any mishap.
Yes, sir.
She'll work with you. I mean, it sounds like your employer definitely will work with you to make sure you make those curfew calls.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. Mr. Hood, I've already kind of chewed you out already, so I'm not going to do it again. You've got some very good support. The warden is there with you. He's helping mentor you, which is wonderful. Ms. Nolan sounds like a wonderful employer to have. She wants to work with you. She's very common sense, and she tells you, you're on supervision, just like we've told you. And, sometimes you just gotta bite your tongue when things aren't going well. Okay. But you did a good interview today. You certainly got it in you to be a productive citizen, and you've been doing that. It just looks like maybe you and the probation or parole officer kind of rubbed each other the wrong way. But remember, she's very busy. She's got a lot of stuff going on in her life as well. And you're just one person that she's trying to supervise, and she's not against you. She really is in favor of you, and she wants you to be able to succeed, and we want you to succeed. So the vote today is going to be not to revoke you, with the condition that you report every week for the next 3 weeks, and then maintain doing what you're doing, but leave your attitude at the door or in the shower.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, y'all have a good day.